Hey friends! Oh, finally, AE down in the studio. I'm having a visitor. Hey Leia. What's wrong, Leia? Hello, Leia. You're out of camera, but your tail isn't. Anyway, sorry for the appearance. Looking a little rough. Caught in the rain today and just haven't really given a flying for the rest of the day. But anyway, I'm going to work on a painting. It's actually a commission for someone, and I'm going to work on that today. And so to start off with, I've got my important items, brushes in here. Also then here and below that are paint. So I have my water bowl and my Pinot Grigio. You knew that it had to be. Oh, come on. Really? In the background on the wall, just by the way, this is the studio. I'm in the studio. Back here on the wall are paintings that I've already done, and I've just left the pieces up there. Now there's a couple back there that I haven't done yet that I want to do, but I haven't. Namely the one that's right there. That's my friend Waltise and her son Manuel. Haven't done that one. I've started it 3 times. Yeah, it's an emotionally loaded one, and I just haven't gotten there. Yeah. But you have, let's see, can you see there? There's 2 and her parents. Rach and Bex back there. You also have, this is an acquaintance of mine, William Morva. I think I talked about this on another video that may not or may be published by now, but anyway, William Morva. He's no longer with us. He was executed for killing some cops in Virginia. Of course, Marilyn's back there, Hannah, Marley. Just over that, right back there, see the top, that's Jeter and Rachel and Grandma and Grandpa. Leia, Sir Jasper, Marty's back there, you name it. So what I'm working on now, Leia, why don't you go upstairs? I have a friend and she's just standing here by me. I think she wants to be on camera. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and load my palette. I've already done the canvas, and usually I work, like I said, I have a drawing or something to go by. So here's the piece that I'm actually looking at to do this. Now I've already sketched in roughly the visual from here that I'm going to paint here. But I need to load my my very, very technical palette. Yes, it's a melamine salad plate from Target Home. Cheap and love them. You'll notice, and this is something we art folks have always had an issue with, if I have something to drink, I don't use this as my water cup. Or you end up drinking your paint water. So hence why I use a bowl. Keeps me from drinking paint water. So I'm going to set this off to the side because I don't need it. And we're going to go from there. Oh, now Maui's decided to come join us. You may see another little face popping in, or tail. No, oh, there's a white little tail. Oh, hey Leia. Hey Leia. Hey Maui. I know, you're like, why is Daddy talking? There's Meow Meow on the camera. I'm Leia. Why don't y'all go lay in your crates while Daddy's working, okay? I love you too. I do, I love my babies. So now this painting is primarily black, whites, and grays, and I'm gonna stick with that. I thought about doing it in color, but yeah, I'm gonna do black and white. So I have my acrylic from paint from Liquitex, the Liquitex Basics line. I tend to squirt way too much paint on my canvas and end up not using it. So I am sure I will follow through with that again today. So it's hard for you to kind of see from where the camera is. However, I'm going to squirt out some paint on my canvas, on my palette. Woo, look at that sexy. So I'm using that. And I need to get some white out here. Okay, this is some Artist Touch white acrylic. Yes, I am a cross-brand person, buddy. It's on sale, I get it. So I've got some white and black, because guess what? That's really all I need, because like I said, it's a black and white painting. So, and the black I used is Mars black here. Now there's also like lamp black and some other colors. I'm also a fan of pepper towels. Pepper towels, pepper towels. Kept my dad's company in business, if you don't know which one that is. Look up Covington, Virginia and paper mill, and you'll figure it out real quick which company I'm talking about. So now what I'm going to do is, well, explain something to you. Down here, where my paints are, it's important to be organized. And I'm a Virgo, and so I get a little crazy about it. My neutral paints are in one cubby. My cool colors, my greens, blues, and purples are in one, and then my warm colors, my yellows, oranges, and reds are in another. And I've got another dog here, down here. And like I said, I've got my brushes here. But anyway, so what I'm going to do at first is really work on my background. So I'm going to get a bigger brush. I have much bigger brushes, but it's a little too much for this canvas. So yeah, I'm not going to do that. And the first thing I'm going to tell you is I'll probably end up with paint on these clothes, which is not good. But normally I don't wear this much clothing when I'm painting, and I'm going to leave it at that, okay? Yeah, we artists are freaks. So I'm dipping in my water just a little bit here. Getting some white, and you're going, why is he painting white on a white canvas? But what I want to do here is I want a softer edge to the pup, but I'm more worried about the background because I'm going to lay in some very loose lines back here. So I want to start along the edge of the pup and make sure we have some fun here. So I'm going to work on this. I'm going to throw it into time lapse so you don't have to watch this whole boring process in real time. And I will, let me do this real quick. I'll get back to you all shortly in regular time. Toots. So we're now back. I've done the background, and I'm pretty much going to let that sit where it is for now. What I am going to do, as you can see, it's kind of blurry. I will go in there in a little bit and take some paint and take it down. Hello, Maui. I'm getting lots of visitors. They don't understand quite why Daddy talks to a camera, and they're like, why are you talking to the camera, Dad? We're right here. Look at us. Here comes Leia. Hello, Leia. Hi, Leia. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let that dry just for a while. What I am going to do is I'm going to start going in and laying in the darker color of the dog. The doggy. While my girls don't understand what's going on. Leia, I need you to move your face. I don't want to bump your head, baby. I don't want to bump your head. No. I don't want to bump your head. Okay. Okay. Like something good is going on. I don't know how much you can hear the music. There's music just bumping away in here. But anyway, I'm just getting it. Okay, so now I'm going to start throwing in the black for the pit. And you're going to see I'm going to lay it in really loosely because this is really just for my background. And yeah, so I'm going to start doing that. Here, I'll do a little bit in real time for my real time fans, not my time lapse fans. This is a great mix. I wish you could hear it. Like I said, I don't know how much you can hear it. Hey, Maui. So I'm gonna keep doing this and work on dropping in all the black And I'll time lapse this so you can watch and just wonder. Hello friends, I'm back. As you can see, I've darkened in the dog. Oh, not the peanut. So I've darkened in the dog, got all those things laid in. And you'll notice I did leave some areas just really white. Obviously this dog has a lot more white in its face. I didn't want to like go in and have black that I have to go over with white and really pull a lot of white, which I'll end up doing anyway, I'm sure. And you'll also notice like along the edge here, I've just left it really bumpy and loose, which I'm going to go in later and pull in the hairs more. So there was really no reason for me to go in and pull these intricate little hair areas here, or even up in here, or for that matter, even anywhere in here, but just leaving some spaces for things to be open. But what I am going to do is I'm going to go in with some white into some of these spots where I want the fur to kind of blend a little bit, which is primarily right in here. So I'm going to really load in some white right here. And let it kind of get some gray going on in this little spot, just so that we can have some, let's see, bring it down right there a little bit. And I know you can't really see me doing this, however, as I'm painting, I'm trying to look up at my go by here to see what I need to catch and what I don't need to catch, or what I need to pull out a little more. Not perfect, but it'll do for now. Just like here, I'm going to go ahead and drop in some white here and let it catch some of that black. Just gonna let it be really heavy. Just let it kind of, let the canvas and the brush kind of play a little bit and create hair. But I don't have to paint. I can just suggest it. Suggestion, baby. Now what'll happen is I'll go back in these places, pull even darker and or lighter tones out, so that we can make sure to have that. I'm also going to do some stuff here around the little one's nose, because we have some really white hair right through here. I just want to make sure that I go ahead and pull that. And like I said, I'll go back in a bit and pull some other stuff. But there's just a few spots where I wanted to go ahead and get some white / gray onto this pup, because it's there, and I need to make sure you see it. Yeah, a little bit up here, and a little bit there. Choking my brush. You just heard me say I was choking my brush. What that means is I'm painting like this. This is choking your brush. You should really hold it back here, right here. I almost like up there trying to kill it. back it off. Okay, so really, I'm kind of at a spot where I need to let some stuff dry a little bit. That edge there, and work on that. This kind of blurring that, taking that down a little bit. So while we're on camera, let's see. This is always the fun part. This is the part where you go, am I gonna this up? And of course, I'm doing it on camera live. So yeah, go figure. God help my soul. Okay, so I want to take it all down a little bit. So I'm going to do a little bit of white. Let's see. And what I'm going to do is just kind of go over. Yeah, see, that's not dry yet. So what I'm going to do is let it dry a little more. There's the happy accident, kids. You know, our friend Bob Ross always talked about happy accidents. That was one. You just witnessed a happy accident, bitches, and I created it for you. Okay, so I'm gonna let this dry. It needs to sit for a while. So I'll just come back another time and we'll go a little further because there's really nothing I feel like I should be doing on this thing at this point, except I just see something I want to do. I feel like, see, this is so white over here. Let me take that down a little bit. Let me take that down just a little bit. It's too harsh. And plus, what I want to do is I want to take this down some so that my little guy here with all of his white and everything will show up a lot more and be the center of focus. So anyway, this is where I am now. This is it, people. So I'll come back down and continue working on him once it's all dried up. Then maybe later on tonight, who knows? It's early. It's early. So, but for now, cheers. So, the one thing you're going to learn about me on a lot of these videos, if you haven't already, I'm impatient as hell. When I start making art, I want to finish it. I don't want to wait. I don't want to have time. And I was like, well, this is already starting to dry. See, nothing on my finger. Here, prove it again. Nothing on the finger. This area here, still a little tacky, a little bit of white. That's okay. Oh, by the way, this is from my favorite store that was in Blacksburg, Virginia. It used to be in Roanoke too, called Mish Mish. They're no longer around. Such a shame because y'all screwed up with closing a good art store. Not everyone agrees with me on that comment, but I don't care. So, here we are. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go back in. I'm going to start pulling in some highlights in through here with some brushes, and we'll take it from there. So I'm going to take a moment to get myself situated and put you guys on time lapse, and we will watch that whole extravaganza crazy take place. Well, that was an experience with the time lapse. Did it with a different camera setup, and I'm not sure that's gonna work or not. But anyway, if you missed it, I basically added some more white and I started working on the little one's eyes here. I'm actually gonna work a little more on that now. So just bear with me, children. So yeah, so I'm gonna go back in. Where's my white brush? Where did you go, white brush? Yeah, you'll notice I try to use the same brush. Like if it's the white brush, I use the white brush for the white paint, and I keep using, hey Maui. She's trying to figure out why I'm painting another black and white dog and it's not her. But I tend to try to use, obviously, the white brush so that when I go back in, you know, I'm not mixing too much color. And what I'm trying to do here is just build up the white areas in the dog's eye. And yeah, I'm going heavy with the paint right through here just because I really want to play in that space. It's gonna look crazy as all get out. This dog's gonna look like an alien. It happens. Every painting that I work on, and any artist I think will probably tell you this, they all go through that ugly period. It's kind of like the teenage years. You remember the teenage years, right? I'll put a picture up of the teenage years. Everybody goes through that, so your painting does too. I have a feeling this one's getting near the teenage years. We're getting there now. And sometimes that's the spot that's most difficult for me to get past with a painting is the teenage years. If I can't get past the teenage years with a painting, it's doomed. It will not get done. If I can get past the teenage years, it lives for another day. Probably why I don't have children. So, yeah. So I'm going to go in here again. I'm really gonna pull some more white in this little one's chest right here. And notice I got really heavy with it. Now I'm gonna kind of just let it be in that space. Looking up here to make sure I'm not doing anything too crazy. And right now, you know, this space is a little different than what that little one's chest looks like, but I'm gonna come back in with some black and I'm gonna fix that. Pew, pew, pew. So, yeah, that's right, kids. So this is where I am now. Isn't this amazing? Isn't it captivating? So, watch what you watch, and we'll be back in just a bit to show you some more. So, you know, I was talking earlier how I wanted to take this down. I'm working on that now. It appears to have dried, and so I'm going to go in, if I don't mess everything up over here. I'm gonna go in, and I'm just gonna pull white through here, and I'm really just trying to take it down. So I'm going to water it, that white down that I just placed on there. I'm going to water it down. I'm kind of going to soften it this way, just kind of do a loose brush technique across it, just because I really want to take it down. It got a little too intense the more I looked at it. And I was like, yeah, that needs to come down. And if you're wondering what I'm doing when I'm over here on the side, this is a gallery wrap canvas. And a gallery wrap canvas is simply a canvas that is thicker. It's about 1.5 inches deep. So these are canvases that people tend to typically use if they don't want to throw them in a frame and they want to hang them sans frame, obviously. Ooh, don't knock over my pillow. Okay, so I've taken that down. But yeah, the gallery wrap frames just simply mean that there's a edge, and any good artist who has a gallery wrap frame will paint them. I'm looking at you. I see you over there. Oh, don't try to kid me. Don't try to play. I see you. So yeah, so I've taken that down. Now what I want to do is I'm going to go back in. You're like, God, how many brushes does he own, for God's sake? There's a ton, people. There's a ton of brushes. And that's why artists are poor. Let me tell you, these brushes are not cheap. And y'all wonder why artists charge so much money for this stuff. They got to pay for the brushes and the paint. Let's not get started on how much paint is. Let me just share a little something with you. This little 20 by 20, you're looking at a good $40 to $50. Pick your mouth up. It's not a cute look. Not a cute look. $40 to $50 for this. So now you know why people charge you but so much. They got to pay for this stuff. Pay. It's not for free. Nothing's for free. Like you gotta have cash, gas, or the other thing. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Don't pretend. Y'all know. Please. Hadn't been that long since y'all had to put out. So basically what I'm doing now is I'm just going in and adding some white highlights because I really want to take this back down so that this little fella stands out. I don't like that brush. And that's the other thing. You will find you have favorite brushes. You'll find like, oh, this brush is the best, and you will use that brush. One of my favorites right here. Love this little brush. Let me get some water in here. Okay, I love this little brush. But I'm just trying to take down this background. It's a little too much for this little fella. It just needs to be a suggestion back here. I didn't need a bowling alley leading to this little one's face. Now you just saw I went across it and you're like, it's not a mistake. I can fix that. As a matter of fact, a lot of this is going to be behind somebody's fur here in just a little bit. So I'm not really worried about it too much. Now the thing is, you should always work from the background forward when you paint. Do I follow that? Not always. Do I sometimes? Sure. But not always. Why? Because I'm the artist and I can break the damn rules if I want to. So don't come for me because I don't have time for it. Now you're looking at me going, you just took out that stuff. Why are you putting it back in? Because I'm going to take it back down here in just a second. I'm just trying to add a little bit more tone back here. Just a tiny bit. There's my favorite. There's my favorite white brush. Bam, chip, bam. See? I just want a little something back here. I'm going to do this just to scramble that color together because this is going to be all under the edge of the fur, and I want to make sure little one's fur doesn't have anything crazy going on. Okay, so I am pretty much done with that background. I'm not going to mess with it anymore. One of my professors in college, Mr. Springer, Homer Springer, he said something to me one day. Because he saw I have a tendency to overwork. And what that means is I get to a spot and I look at it and I'm like, oh, I like it. Oh, let me go in and fix it. Let me go in and fix it. Let me go in and fix it. And a lot of artists do that. I'm not the only one. So don't pretend I see you out there. But a lot of people go, oh, let me fix this. Here's the deal. I've got this to a point, I'm stopping. I'm not going to change it. I'm not going to fix it. I'm not going to go back and tweak it. It's done. D-U-N, done. Okay? So I'm finished here. I'm going to go back in. I'm going to start laying in the black of the fur here on the edge. And then I'm going to start working on the pup. Because I am ready to move on! Sorry, that was a little dance break. Hey, Leia. I see you, baby. You all definitely... Oh, there's the tail. There she goes. They do not understand why Dad talks to this thing. So I've got a lot of brushes going on over here. By the way, I'm using a little camera friend. It's called Pivo. Pivo is a camera base that I purchased, and it also is an app for your phone. And what Pivo does is Pivo follows you. Has face recognition, so it will follow you around as you're moving, which is really kind of cool. I don't have to have an extra person holding the camera, moving things around. I can just look at the camera and go, and it moves. Pivo's great. P-I-V-O. It's one of those Indiegogo hoo-ha's where you pay some money and they send you one if it's in production, yada yada, but they're sending them out. Now, it did take a while to get it. It comes from China, but I will tell you, well worth the money. I'll put their website address down here. You can order yourself a Pivo. They're fabulous. Okay, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go in and start adding the black over this background, and you're going, oh my God, you just painted that. Blah, blah, aren't you worried? No, I'm not worried, it's black. This black will cover everything. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start laying in some of this little man's hair that is missing, and I want to make it delicate because I am not worried about my background anymore. I'm done with the background. The background is finished. So I can go in and lay some crazy little hairs and play a little bit here. I've never met this little fella. Usually the dogs I paint I've met at one time or another. Usually they're my dogs, obviously. Actually, you know, I never met Jeter. My little friend Jeter back here. Let me pull Jeter off the wall. Jeter deserves some attention here. Come here, Jeter. He is the Dalmatian dog of my cousin Cheryl and her husband John. They live in Wilmington. That's their dog. I painted him. You can see him on my website. I've never met Jeter. That's dog number 2. So yeah, I need to go meet Jeter. I've heard he's a pretty cool dog. He likes to dig holes at the beach. I mean, hell, if you're at the beach, I don't care what you do. It's the beach. Dig holes. I don't know what my girls would do at the beach. We talked about taking them there, but you know, I can't let these two off a leash. They're crazy. And they're, with them being pit bull background, you know how that goes. Oh my God, it's a pit bull! But somebody would try to shoot them or say they ate their dog. Pit bulls get such a bad rap, and they're probably some of the sweetest, tenderest little souls you'd ever want to meet. So before you start discounting a pit bull, if you see one on the street or running in the opposite direction, go talk to that little baby, because that little baby just wants love. Now, granted, if it growls at you and tries to bite you, that's not a dog. It needs love. It needs Jesus. But that's a separate story. But now you can see I've added in some extra little texture and some fun here. So yeah. Oh, the other dog, this little fella right here. This one, right. Ooh, hey, camera's jumping. Camera's jumping, hey. This little one right here. Jasper. That's my buddy Jasper. Jasper is no longer with us. Jasper and I had a little run-in. He left me with a little present right there. You see that little line? That's where Jasper's canine. Yeah. As you can probably guess, I like dogs, and just had to reach over to say hi to Jasper. Jasper said hello back. He was a sweetheart though, and it was all my fault, and I take complete responsibility for that one. That was me completely effing up. So that was all me. But bless little Jasper's heart. He's not with us anymore. He was a cute little dog. He was very cute. And everybody else said he was really nice. And I'm sure he was nice. He just didn't know me. And I was reaching across into his land, and I smelled like 2 girl dogs. So I'm sure he was like, bitch, what you doing? So what I'm doing now is I'm gonna kind of give this little guy an edge, because he really isn't that fluffy on his legs. By the way, this little guy's name is Dakota. Dakota. He's from North Carolina. He lives here in the Cackalack. So, I'm gonna finish up doing these little edges and shut up, because I don't want this video to be 45 minutes to 30 hours long. So I will come back and we will continue on with the painting of Master Dakota of Kernersville. Okay? So, I'll be back shortly. Okay? Bonjour! I don't speak French. I don't even pretend. I'm not even gonna try. So, did a little work here. Did a little work here. You notice I blacked in little Bella's nose. Dakota Snows. I'm at a point where, let me pull Dakota down here. There's a lot of little work in Dakota's face. There, you can see it up close, see? There's a lot of little work there. I think probably the best thing for me to do is kind of hold tight on this for the night. Although I'm saying that as I'm sitting here going, oh, I could paint this. I feel like I need to slow down and stop for a moment, but I probably won't. I can't. When these kind of things hit me, I need to keep going. When the muse hits, you continue. If you're an artist or a creative, whether that be a photographer, a writer, a lyricist, etc., you know when the muse is there, you go. It's a little different for me this go around because I normally don't talk to people while I'm painting, although I have stopped and taken photos before while I'm painting. I've never stopped and said, oh, hey, here's what I'm doing. This is a little different for me. However, I really feel like I'm at a point where I may need to stop to let this fella dry just a little bit before I go back in and work on some other things. And with that being said, I know I'm not going to. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. I'm really happy with how this is looking now. Even though that still seems maybe a little dark to me, I may kill that a little bit more. But for now, it's staying there. So, yeah. So I've done quite a bit of work. I don't know how much I'll be able to use the previous video footage. Don't ask. So what I've done is I've gone in, added some more white through here in these areas, kind of blended some stuff down. I feel like there's still some stuff I need to do in here. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop at this point and let it rest and let me rest. And what I mean by that simply is sometimes you get to a point and you're working on something and you really do need to step away from it. And I think I'm at that point. Like I mentioned earlier, Mr. Springer told me I tend to overwork things sometimes. And sometimes you just need to step away. And that came through really loud and clear just a few moments ago while I was working on this. In my head, as I was working, I'm going to town on this, and all of a sudden someone went, stop it, stop it, stop it, stop it, step away. And I got to listen to that. And I'm sure some people are going to be like, oh Lord, he's had too much to drink. And no, actually I haven't. Sometimes when I paint, I don't always feel like I'm the one that's in control of the brush. I know I'm getting all crazy on you guys and you're like, oh, holy, what the hell is he talking about? But sometimes when I paint, I feel as if maybe someone else is controlling the brush or something else is controlling my brush. And I could only maybe describe that as the muse. Higher power. Some people might want to call it God. But something, someone, some power, etc. is moving my brush. I kind of lose myself and I'm gone. I'm just I can't even think of the word right now because this music's really too loud. I need to turn this down. Hang on. Okay. I am just the God, I still can't think of the word. Anyway, you get the idea. I'm not in control of shit, and I don't necessarily feel sometimes that I am the one who makes the stroke. It is coming from beyond, somewhere else, and my hand is being driven by that force. That sounds so Star Wars. But hey, I'll do it. Star Wars is fun. By the way, have you seen The Mandalorian? Oh my God, go watch it. If you don't have Disney Plus, buy it for just The Mandalorian. Jesus. Baby Yoda. Oh, I love him to death. Yeah, so that's where I stand. I'm going to stop for tonight. Once again, I'll show you. Here's where we are. That's the visual. I'm not going to make it look exactly like that. No, it's going to be close. I'm an artist. I'm doing an artistic representation. Here's where we are. There's where we are. So, got a few more things I want to do. I think I may actually do a multimedia on this. It won't just be paint. I may actually go in with maybe color pencil or something and actually make that happen. Oh, and another thing, I found out from my dear friend, because she's texting me while I'm making this video, I thought this was a he. It's a she. This is she. This is a princess. This is Princess Dakota, not Prince Dakota. Princess Dakota. So I will let this bad boy rest for the night. I'll let you guys rest for the, 2 seconds, because guess what? It's video land. I'll be back in just a minute with you guys. However, we're waiting. Hey everybody. Okay, so our little fella here is dried. As you can tell, I've changed clothes. New day. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to go in and do some more detail. Now, yesterday I just did with white and black and really kind of let those colors go together. And I say go together as in mix directly on the canvas. What I want to do now is there's some areas of gray in here that I'm actually going to make a gray paint. So I'm going to mix it. One of the good things about acrylic is, see here's the acrylic from yesterday, and here's some, gets a little skim on it, and sometimes you can pop that skin, almost like popping a zit. And that will allow you to use the paint that's there. So what I'm going to do is take care of that. Here, just a second. I'm sorry, I'm umming a lot. But I do want to make a gray. So we're going to work on that today. Okay. So what I'm going to do is just simply, I'm going to come up towards camera so you can see this. See how it's just like almost like a little zit. See, there it goes. There's the black. Popped right out. See? How cool is that? Okay. So I'm going to take some of this black. I'm going to go over here to a different spot on my palette here. My fancy palette. So take that. And then I'm going to go ahead and throw some white on here. I'm not going to use the white that I have since black is such a contaminating color. So just pop a little white there. See, here we are. And I'm just going to mix it so I get myself a big old goopy blob of gray. Okay. That's a good gray. It's a pretty gray. Okay, so I'm going to go back to my canvas, put a little water on here just so it helps, I think the word is viscosity. I don't know. Excuse the hair, it's kind of going crazy. That one piece kind of doing crazy stuff. Anyway, so I'm just going to go back in here and add some gray. Places on our little pup here. And I'm primarily doing it just so that there's a middle ground of contrast so that it's not so white, so black. And that's what I'm working on here. And just to give the pup a little more personality. Yeah, here we go. Okay. So I'm going to work on this. So I'll be doing this for a little bit. So I'm going to stop chatting here, and I'm just going to paint. So yeah. So we're just going to work on that a bit. Okay. So let me keep working on this. I feel like Bob Ross today, yeah, for sure. Let me work on this a little bit, blah, blah, blah. So anyway, I'm going to keep working on this. I'll let you watch while I'm working on it. And yeah, so. I'm now at a point where I am going to actually add just a few more light color highlights. And remember yesterday, or in the previous part of this video, like this is time. Remember yesterday when I was talking? In the previous part of the video, I said Mr. Spur used to tell me you get to a point and stop. Get to that point. I feel like if I do too much more, I'm going to overwork. So I'm just going to pull a few more really high highlights where I think they need to be. I'm going to call it a day. And this little pup will be complete. Little Dakota will be finished. I think we've got her pretty much ready to go. So we will just wanted to have a few more white highlights. I feel like maybe she needs to have here. We should be good. Yeah, we should be almost done with this little pooch. Take a look. Yep, I think I'm done. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my liner brush. I have more than one. There's one that I like. There it is. My brush. I'm going to sign it in gray so it's not so crazy bright. Okay. Here we go. Well, guess what? Complete. So there you go. I will take some photos and go from there. However, for now, Miss Dakota goes to the back wall. There she is. She's up on the wall and we're all done. So hope you've enjoyed it. Dakota.